everyone. Welcome back to another episode of News with the M's, live from Steam High with Mackenzie Mansory
and Markayla Worth,
where we share and update you on all the latest news.
Today we have three amazing stories. First, starting off with a local business owner by the name of Sweets by Kiera. Take it away, Mackenzie.
Our first story today is about a local business by the name of Sweets by Kiera. Sweets by Kiera has recently risen to fame. When asked how Kiera got her start in baking, she revealed that as a child she would watch her mom bake many sweets and immediately took interest. Kiera always knew that she wanted to start a business, so in 2018, she opened Sweets by Kiera, and it was an immediate success throughout the St. Louis area. Little did she know, 2 years later, a global pandemic would come and take the world by storm. Once the pandemic hit, Kiera started to notice the products that she used increased severely, specifically eggs and butter, two of her main ingredients. According to the St. Louis Federal Reserve, the average price of eggs in 2018 was $1.74 and skyrocketed to $2.85 during the pandemic. Wow, the average price of butter in 2018 was $2.51 and skyrocketed to $3.77. Wow, almost $4. Could you believe it? With increased ingredient prices, Kiera has noticed less customers, and less customers means that she has had to go from baking twice a week due to twice a month, which has negatively impacted her business. Kiera hopes now that the pandemic has slowed, she can go back from baking twice a week and reach her goal of making wedding cakes. Back to you, Markayla.
Wow. I hope things can go back to normal for Sweets by Kiera. Our next topic today is inflation. Now, you may be asking yourself, what exactly is inflation? Well, inflation is an increase of goods and merchandise in the economy. An example of this is here at school at STEAM Academy at our Fbla snack stand. The prices of chips went from $1.50 to $2.50, which is an entire dollar. A lot of students don't agree with this because of the fact that they think that these chips should be affordable. But this is just an example of how inflation impacts our everyday lives. On a global level, many stores and businesses have reported a decrease in customers due to their merchandise and goods increasing drastically, which makes consumers not want to spend their money at those specific places because a lot of consumers feel that it is not necessary to do so, as they will be spending more money than they would have been doing if inflation wasn't going on at the moment. But hopefully we will combat this inflation and everything will be a-okay. Back to you, Mackenzie.
There has been an abrupt increase in inflation. According to the Federal Reserve, the inflation rate was 4.7% in 2021 and has skyrocketed to a whopping 8.8% in 2022. Many are asking, how does the government plan to combat this inflation? They are planning to control inflation rates by using three contractionary monetary policies. The first one being to increase interest rates. By increasing interest rates, banks around the world will be forced to increase their interest rates also. This will cause less people to want to borrow money. If less people are borrowing money, then spending will slow and inflation will drop. The second policy is to increase reserve requirements. Banks must maintain a certain amount of money at all times in case of withdrawals. If the Federal Reserve increases this amount of money banks must maintain, they will have to lend less money. If consumers are borrowing less money, we will start to notice spending will slow. The third and final policy the government uses to control inflation is calling any debts that are owed to them. Calling in debts puts extra money in the government's pocket, making inflation easier to control. On a positive note, the International Monetary Fund predicts that the inflation rate will decrease to 6.5% in 2023. Back to you, Markayla.
Thank you, Mackenzie. As previously stated, I hope that we can combat this inflation. FBLA students, this is for you. As you know, state competitions are rolling around the corner and you may not know how to prepare. So today we have a very special guest, our very own chapter president, President Shern. Today we have a very important guest, our FBLA chapter president, President Shern.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm not bad myself.
Alrighty. Today we'll be inquiring to him a few questions regarding his public speaking skills and how we can help you be better at your public speaking habits. Alrighty, so our first question is, what advice would you give someone who is afraid to do public speaking?
I think that's a pretty good question. The advice I would give to that person is, it's going to take a lot of practice for you to get better at it. It's one of those things that only becomes easier over time, but only with repetition. Mm-hmm. You have to run whatever speech or whatever line that you're going to be giving in front of people over and over again. You can't be afraid to mess up as well. And when you're speaking, if you do happen to mess up, don't let on that you messed up, because the people that you're speaking to are only going to know that you messed up if you let them know.
Alrighty, back to you, Mackenzie, with the second inquiry.
Question for you is, what was your experience like going to nationals?
I would say it was a very important experience as far as seeing how other people do things. It's easy to get so caught up in how things are done in your region, especially if you don't get out much. But going to nationals, which was in Chicago last year, it was a great chance to experience how other people like to put their twists on whatever they're doing, specifically with the speeches, since of course my event was public speaking. I enjoyed that very much, and I also say it was a great networking opportunity as well. I was able to meet a lot of new people and gain a lot of new perspectives about certain things.
Thank you for that.
That is all for today, folks. I'm Markayla Worth.
And I'm Mackenzie Mansard.
And this is News with the M's. Thank you again, President Sherm.
Of course, I'm glad to be here.